wonder what has kept me in this game. But, I just keep coming back to it. I love it.
All right, that is the trailer that has come out, a new documentary. It's called Stallone, Frank, that is. Video on demand and digital right now. We've known Frank for a long time. Frank, welcome back to the program, my friend. How are you?
Sean, it's great to talk to you from rainy California.
The only thing you can legitimately whine about for California is that you live in a socialist hellhole with the highest taxes in the country. But New York's about to break your record. You're about to become number 2. So stay tuned for that.
I think I'm heading to Florida following my brother.
So here's the amazing thing, and I never knew this was an issue for you. I mean, I'm listening to the trailer of your new documentary, and Stallone, Frank, that is. Obviously, you everybody knows your brother, Sylvester Stallone. Everyone loves Rocky, the franchise. But you have all of these accomplishments. As a musician, for example, 3 platinum albums, 10 gold albums, 5 gold singles. You've been on the charts worldwide, praised by Sinatra, Tony Bennett. We heard Arnold Schwarzenegger in there. You've done soundtrack work for The Expendables and, let's see, Saturday Night Fever's sequel, Staying Alive, and Rocky 1, 2, and 3, and Rambo 2. I mean, so you have this whole other life and career. And great success on your own, separate and apart from your brother. And I guess it's become a pain in your ass to always be introduced as Sly Stallone's brother, Rocky's brother.
Sean, I think a lot of people misinterpreted things like I was mad at him. I was never mad at him. I mean, he made his thing. It's just that I've been in the business, at that time when Rocky came out professionally, 14 years. So all of a sudden, overnight, I was Frank Stallone's rock band, Frank this. We were like a big band in New Jersey, and we were going for an RCA record deal, and then all of a sudden I went from Frank Stallone to Rocky's brother, and it was like really weird, and it took me a while to kind of get it. That when I was on these talk shows with my group, they go, "Hey, you guys sound really great. Hey, so what's it like being Rocky's brother?" So basically I was there kind of as cannon fodder, you know what I'm saying, for them to get information about Sly. And he felt bad about it, too. I mean, remember, my brother used to help me carry my equipment into my gigs. So he was like the most expensive roadie.
From my understanding, and it's been a while since we've spoken, but, you guys are really tight. You like each other a lot. You get along well. You love each other.
Oh, yeah, we do like each other. Yeah, he's the funniest guy I know. He's actually unbelievably funny in this documentary. When he talks about handcuffing me to a fire escape with Army surplus handcuffs. Yeah.
And by the way, I forgot that you had, because I'm friends with Geraldo. Geraldo just loses his mind temporarily and politically, but then eventually I bring him back around.
Exactly.
And he, we're like brothers, but when we disagree on politics, we fight like
I watch
brothers.
Every night. I know.
But you got in the ring with him. This was an event you did with Howard Stern. But you were actually you'd been a little bit of a sort of a professional boxer. Didn't you have 30 fights?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't really want to fight him. I was doing Howard Stern's show basically just to promote something I was doing. And when I got there, Geraldo was on the speakerphone talking to Howard, saying that he was training all the time boxing, that he would fight any celebrity. Now, I had absolutely no intention of getting back in the ring. I'd been in the ring in 12 years. In those days, smoking cigarettes. And, I was doing what rock and roll guys do. No drugs, but I'm just saying I wasn't in boxing shape. They talked me into this stupid fight. And, I came into the ring. I bruised my ribs. I was a mess. And so he talked me into this thing. I didn't get anything other than a busted hand. But you know what? Geraldo showed it. It was the highest rated show that Howard Stern had at that time. It was simulcast on TV and radio at the same time. So, but
listen. I want both of you. I got to give credit to both of you. Now, you didn't end up winning the fight, if I recall.
But he showed up.
He showed up. I mean, Geraldo's a gutsy guy.
Geraldo's not a punk. He'll fight. He's not afraid. No.
He always says to me, because I train mixed martial arts, I'm in my 8th year, and I take it really seriously. I do it an hour and a half a day, 5 days a week. And, people laughed at me in the beginning, like my own son used to laugh at me. And I'm like, you won't, if I start going after him for fun and just play around with him, all right, Dad, all right, got it. Because I'm about to...
Your son's laughing until you give him a hammer fist, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah, I'll put him in a rear naked choke or...
It's over. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I would've gotten into
Kartagashki
martial
wrist lock,
arts.
and he's like, okay,
Oh, no.
tap. He's what he
Sean,
says.
I wish I would have gotten into martial arts as well, because it wasn't really popular in the 60s like it is now. I mean,
I love the octagon. Do you love the octagon?
These guys are animals, man. Jeez.
Oh, gosh.
These guys are. I mean,
And I tell people all the time, and people ask me, well, what do you do when people, are confrontational in public? I'm like, I say hi.
Try to walk, yeah, try to walk
There's
away.
no words that people are going to use that's going to offend me. And I'll do everything I can possibly do to walk away, run away. I'll even walk fast backwards, just because I don't ever want to have to use what I know, to be very blunt. And it's not bragging. I'm just telling you, I've learned a lot.
Because, Sean, the average person can't take a punch. They don't even know. Like Mike Tyson said, everyone's brave till they get hit in the face. And, the stuff you've learned in the dojos, I mean, it doesn't, as you know, it doesn't take that much to disable somebody. I mean, it could be real quick and pretty nasty. And I've found out.
We actually have, like, one of my Sensei Glenn is his name, and I got to tell you, he makes me do Pain Day. You know the scene in I think it was the last Rocky, the one where he gives his son the lecture, which I play on the air all the time.
Yeah.
And nothing's going to hit as hard as life itself. It don't matter how hard you can get hit. No matter how hard you can get hit, and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Right. Anyway, that's my best imitation. But anyway, but the scenes where like they're doing real hitting to his stomach. I do that training. I stretch my arms out, and he fist pounds my arms. I mean, you see stars during Pain Day. Because if you ever have to engage somebody, you got to be able to take a hit.
You got to be able to take it. Like when you see the documentary, there's some footage of my brother and I sparring, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. This is before Rocky came out, and we're two spazzes, actually. I mean, it's unbelievable watching that, realizing that we went on to where we went on to do. I mean, but there's so much fun stuff in this movie. I think that we've been getting it's interesting, Sean, really getting a lot of great positive feedback, because it's really about perseverance. It's around, like you always talk about. You were a construction guy. I mean, you probably had no idea you'd be where you are now.
Oh my God, no!
Broadcasting.
Frank, let me tell you, my parents are in heaven in a state of shock. I don't even think God's been able to snap them out of the state. I was an incorrigible kid. I was a troublemaking kid.
Yeah, well, it's the Italian and Irish. We always were born to start trouble. But the thing is, it's very interesting that you think. I mean, I knew at a very, very, very young age that I wanted to be a rock and roll star. From the first time I saw Elvis in 1956, yours kind of parallels my brother's, because no one thought he would be anything but a juvenile delinquent. I mean, he had no artsy-fartsy type notions at all. It wasn't like he was like, this...
But do you want to know something? And one of the coolest stuff you do is the doo-wop in Rockies. I think it's awesome. Yeah. I mean, that brings back memories, to be honest.
Yeah, take you back. Yeah,
take you back. But here's the thing. I mean, I look at that movie, and it's my whole life. I relate completely to that. Obviously, it's not boxing. Mm-hmm. I just jumped every time the door opened. I said, "Okay, let me dive. I'll try it," and I had no idea where I'd land.
But Sean, the thing is why Rocky, I think you'll find this in this movie. There's a little, because I've almost kind of lived the Rocky life, because everyone has a preconceived idea of who I am, but they don't know anything about me. But they figure, well, this Rocky couldn't possibly be any good. But it's like, but that's what the story Rocky is about. It's about a guy getting a chance just to kind of either fail or go out on a shield. And, I had success. I don't have the success I think I wanted. I mean, of course, when you start as a young guy, as a musician, of course you want to be playing the giant stadiums and all that stuff. So I didn't really get a chance to. But I've had Frank Sinatra announce me from the stage. That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. You had Frank Sinatra. You had other great icons, Tony Bennett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, it's kind of cool because sibling rivalry is an interesting thing. I can tell you with my kids, I've never brought my work home. I don't come home and talk about politics or my problems at work.
No, you can't. You go crazy, yeah.
No, I mean, and honestly, I never talk to them about being a conservative. and I'm not even going to talk about them now about it. But
Yeah.
it's interesting now that they're older. You know, when they bring it to me, they want to engage me in it where they never did before. But it was not I never initiated it. And what I always tell them, I said, look, God created you guys. God gave you unique talent. Whatever it is, you got to find what you're here for. You know, I said, you know, I had a big mouth, and then that's what I got as a gift.
You know what, Sean? I've always been conservative, even though, I mean, I'm one of the rock and roll guys that was always up at 5:30 in the morning. I wasn't a druggie or anything, but I was always conservative because you have to understand, I'm 70 years old, so everyone I grew up with was either
Old
World
school.
War I, World War II, Korea. All the cops were all like World War II veterans. So there was no such thing of, like, and I went to military school, so the idea of desecrating the American flag was just unheard of. You just would never do it. Like when a policeman would walk up to you and go, hey, kid, I want to talk to you, you would get over there because there was a different authoritarian thing, and people respected other people's stuff because we didn't have social media where you could be a tough guy. You had to confront someone face to face.
Keyboard warriors naked in their basement. Yeah, I know. You know, I'll tell you this. There's a lot of dynamics here. And it sounds like your journey, you know, it sounds like it got annoying to live in the shadow of your brother, but tell me if I'm wrong, I hear that you've emerged on the other side of it, loving his success you know, also loving your own success.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, I'm doing a lot better than a lot of other people. I mean, I have a nice place to live. I don't play as much as I'd like to in concerts, but I'm pretty lucky. My health is good. My mother, God rest her soul, lived a month shy of 99 and still drove, believe it or not. And she had this forward-thinking power as my brother does. I mean, Sly was a totally unlikely person to be a movie star. He was big, he was muscular, he kind of slurred. And, you know, so we kind of come from the same cloth, you know. My father was a hairdresser, you know. My mother...
Listen, it's an awesome story. Video on demand, digital. It's called Stallone. Frank, that is. Incredible life you're living. We've all been very blessed. Congratulations on it all. And we'll put a link to it on Hannity.com, my friend, and I hope we can catch up soon.
I hope we'll talk to you, brother. I think
all right, my brother. Thank you. My best to your brother.